Two buyers can buy into the same resale project and one makes money while the other struggles to exit. And most of the time, it comes down to a few things people don't really pay attention to. And if you are looking at the resale market right now, this is something you want to get right from the start. Before you go right into it, if you enjoy content like this, you can consider liking and subscribing. I'll be sharing more insights to help you navigate your property journey with more clarity. If you're considering buying a resale property, one of the biggest mistakes I see buyers make is this. They focus on what they can see, but miss what actually drives the value of the property over time. Because on the surface, many resale units can look really quite similar. The layout looks okay, the renovation looks nice, the price feels reasonable. But fast forward a few years later, some of these properties perform very differently. So the way I usually break this down is into three key things. First is the layout efficiency of the unit. Second is the overall quality of the project and the developer behind it. And third is whether you have a clear exit strategy. Meaning, are you entering at the level that still gives you room to move? If you get these three right, your chances of making a good decision goes up significantly. So let's start with the first one, layout efficiency. When you walk into a resale unit, some homes just feels right. The space feels usable, the rooms are well sized, and everything flows naturally. But other units, even if they are similar in size, can feel awkward or constrained. And most of the time, this comes down to layout. It's not about how big the unit is on paper, but how much of that space is actually usable in day-to-day living. To give you a more concrete example, let's look into this project, the Minton. So one of the reasons why this project continues to see demand is because of how well the layouts are planned. The living and dining space are properly segregated, the kitchen is enclosed, and the bedrooms are regular and comfortably sized. Beyond the unit is also a mega development with wide range of facilities, and even after some years, right, the overall facade and the environment are still relatively well maintained. You also have amenities within the project such as cafe, a mini mart, a childcare, and also a laundromat, which adds to everyday convenience. There are also schools within the development and several good schools nearby. Another factor that supports this is the developer King Leong Co, which is known for focusing on quality and luxe developments and is owned by the Wee family, which also have significant interest in UOB. So while a strong developer doesn't guarantee performance, it does give added confidence in how a project is planned and maintained over time. So another example in a similar area would be Road Vista. If you look at a typical 3-bedroom unit of about 1249 square feet, you can immediately see the difference in the space planning. You have proper segregation between living and dining, an enclosed kitchen, there's a yard space, a utility area, and even an additional storage space along the corridor. And the bedrooms are also well sized with king size bed that you can put in easily. Even though it's a more mature project, the space and current entry quantum sits in a sweet spot for families, especially those looking at the 1.7 to even 1.8 million range. And although both the Minton and Road Vista are not right next to MRT stations, it doesn't become a deal breaker because they tick many boxes in terms of layout, livability, affordability, and also suitability for own stay. So the key takeaway here is this: buyers may not analyze layouts in detail, but they will feel whether the space works, and that feeling is what drives demand. So now moving on to the second factor, which is the developer and also the overall quality of the project. If this is helpful so far, you can consider liking and subscribing as well. I will continue to share more breakdowns like this so you can stay ahead when making property decisions. Because when buyers choose a property, they are not just buying also a unit, they are buying into an entire development. Things like the facade, the landscape, the facilities, and how well the project has been maintained all play a role. So some projects age very well, they continue to feel desirable even after many years, while others may feel dated over time. For example, Coco Palms is a good case study. It is a mega development by reputable developers, and the overall planning, facilities, and environment contribute to its sustained demand. And if you look at what happened when Pasir Ris 8 was launched, prices were already starting from around 1,400 plus per square feet range and went up to close to about 2,001 per square feet within the same launch period for Pasir Ris 8. Then at that point in time, Coco Palms was still transacting in the 1,400 plus per square feet range. So naturally, right, this creates a price gap. And over time, as the market adjusted to the new benchmark set by Pasir Ris 8, you start to see Coco Palms gradually move up as well. At the point of this recording, transactions have reached about 1,800 plus per square feet range. So this is a very good example of how a project can benefit from its positioning relatively to newer launches, especially when there is a very clear price gap. So at the same time, the fact that it's developed by established developers also plays a role. The track record, the building quality, and also the overall confidence from buyers and investors help support the demand within the project Coco Palms itself. So the layouts are also generally very livable with proper living and dining areas, enclosed kitchens, and utility spaces. Of course, some units do come with bay windows and planters, so selections within the project still matters. Another example is the Lakeshore. This is a mega development located very close to Lakeside MRT and also near schools and international schools, which supports both own stay and the rental demand very well. And some units offer enclosed kitchens, proper dining spaces, and even dry and wet kitchen concepts, along with also an additional study area. This is a Far East organization project. It's also a well-known developer, which gives added confidence in terms of building quality and planning. So what I have also noticed is that projects by more established developers tend to hold their appeal better over time, especially when it comes to maintenance, planning, and also the overall livability. So we always try to take a step back and ask ourselves, does this project still feels like somewhere people will want to live in a few years down the road when you're ready to cash out from this property. Now, the third factor, which I think is just as important, is your exit strategy. So most buyers don't lose money because they choose the wrong project. They lose money because they enter at the wrong level. So when you buy a resale property, you're not just thinking about today, you're thinking about how you can actually exit in the future. So the question becomes, right now, are you entering at a level where there's still room for growth, or are you entering at a price where your upside is already quite limited? So if you enter too high, even the property is good, right, you may struggle to exit without compromising on price. But if you enter at a reasonable level, you give yourself more flexibility when it comes time to sell. And this is what I mean by a safe exit strategy. So when you bring these three factors together, we talk about layout efficiency, the project quality, and also the entry with upside, you start to see why two buyers can enter into the same project, but they can end up with very different outcomes. So if you're currently looking at resale properties, I would encourage you to slow down slightly and think through these three areas, because buying a resale property is not just about finding something that looks good today, it's about choosing something that will still make sense when you decide to move on. If you found this useful, do consider liking and subscribing. I will continue to share insights like these so you can better navigate the market. And if you are currently exploring resale options and you want a clearer breakdown based on your situation, feel free to reach out to me at 93800434. Happy to walk you through with you. Till the next video, bye bye!